Nintendo fans, buckle up. The next wave of games looks absolutely wild. Stealth, monsters, mystery, and pure adventure, it's all here. These are the top upcoming Switch 2 titles ready to remind you why we love this console. Let's jump in. Let's start big. Assassin's Creed Shadows takes us straight into feudal Japan, finally delivering that ninja meets samurai fantasy fans have wanted for years. You play as Naoe, a stealthy shinobi who moves like a ghost through rooftops and bamboo forests, and Yasuke, a samurai who charges into battle with raw strength. Every mission lets you choose your approach, silent infiltration or full-blown combat, and both feel incredible. The world oozes atmosphere, paper lanterns, misty castles, and shrines glowing under moonlight. What really sells it is the dual story dynamic. It's two completely different playstyles tied together beautifully. Personally, I can already picture those cinematic duels where a single sword clash echoes through the snow. If you love drama, style, and choice-driven action, this one's gonna pull you in hard.
Remember, justice is forged in the shadows.
From ancient Japan to nuclear Boston, talk about a vibe shift. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition is that perfect mix of chaos and comfort. You're rebuilding the world one piece of junk at a time, turning piles of scrap into cozy fortresses. Sure, the world's a wasteland, but somehow it's kind of relaxing. The best part is how much freedom you have. Spend hours decorating your base, or head out to explore and accidentally trigger a robot uprising. Companions like Dogmeat or Piper bring a spark of warmth to all that dust and decay. It's the kind of game you pick up for an hour and end up playing all night. For me, it's pure end-of-the-world self-care. When the bombs fall, I'll be in my settlement, crafting, looting, and pretending everything's fine. Now for something a little more magical. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, is shaping up to be a stunning HD 2D action RPG that looks straight out of a living storybook. It follows a young adventurer named Elliot and his fairy companion Faye on a journey through ancient ruins, mystical forests, and legends lost to time. The visuals have that classic Square Enix charm, warm painterly lighting and rich pixel details that feel nostalgic yet fresh. Early previews hint at real-time combat where you can switch weapon types on the fly, while Faye supports you with magic and exploration abilities. What has fans buzzing is the tone, heartfelt, adventurous, and full of quiet wonder. If it delivers on its promise, this could easily become one of those games that feels timeless the moment you start it.
That unknown to them will span 1,000 years.
Okay, let's get dramatic. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is the ultimate version of From Software's masterpiece. And yes, it's still as punishingly beautiful as ever. This edition bundles the base game with all updates and that massive Shadow of the Erdtree expansion. Expect haunting landscapes, twisted gods, and bosses so intimidating, they'll make you double-check your inventory twice. The Switch version might not cure your rage quits, but it's perfect for sneaking in one more attempt wherever you are. What keeps me coming back is that eerie calm before every impossible fight, that heartbeat silence right before chaos. It's more than a game. It's a test of patience, persistence, and pride. And honestly, few feelings beat finally toppling that boss that's haunted you for days.
I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord.
Time to loosen up, and maybe lose a few friendships. Mario Tennis Fever looks like classic Nintendo chaos at its best. Imagine Wario smashing a lightning serve while Toad twirls in circles with a racket made of pure sparkle energy. The new Fever Racket system adds wild power-ups, freezing courts, multiplying balls, summoning obstacles mid-match. It's glorious madness. What I adore is how it keeps that classic pick-up-and-play joy alive while layering in just enough skill depth to keep you hooked. Story mode returns too, with that over-the-top sports anime flair only Nintendo can pull off. It's the kind of game where victory cheers instantly turn into revenge rematches. For me, it's not about who wins. It's about the laughter when Yoshi accidentally ricochets a ball straight into Bowser's face. Pure Nintendo energy.
Kicking off a series of unexpected events in the game's adventure mode.
And now, deep breath. Things are about to get spooky. Resident Evil Requiem looks like Capcom returning to its creepy roots. Dark corridors, flickering lights, and that slow, nerve-shredding tension. This entry reportedly follows a new cast, trapped in a quarantined European city, torn between survival and uncovering a bioweapon secret. The lighting, the atmosphere, the sound design, everything screams, play this with the lights off. What's fascinating is the focus on emotional storytelling. More tragedy, less brute force. Think survival horror with a cinematic edge. Every shadow hides something. Every footstep makes you hesitate. It's that perfect balance of fear and fascination that keeps you pressing forward. Personally, I can't wait to experience that controller slightly trembling in my hands feeling again. That's when you know Resident Evil has you right where it wants you. Oh yes, get ready for wireless mayhem. Kirby Air Riders revives the cult favorite with a fresh spin on aerial racing. You're gliding across skies, pelting rivals with copy abilities, diving off clouds, and going full blast at max speed. The new version expands on the original's modes. Think the return of City Trial and Top Ride, while adding a seriously large roster of riders and machines to customize. What makes it pop? The chaos of 6 to 8 player races, sudden power-ups, and Kirby's trademark charm wrapped in a just one more race loop. I already imagine a couch full of friends, the air filled with yelps and laughter as someone spins out into a rainbow trail explosion. It's kart racing? Sure, but elevated. Less wheels, more wings, and pure Kirby flair. Time to turn up the volume. Borderlands 4 brings back the looter-shooter chaos with fresh vault hunters, wild weapons, and a war-torn planet that's begging for you to blow things up and loot the aftermath. You'll land on New World Kairos, meet rebels and tyrants and all the over-the-top characters the series nails. Then spend hours chasing weapon parts, upgrading gear, and teaming up with friends. What hooked me? The seamless co-op mayhem that's perfect for crashing into a mission 10 minutes before dinner, then realizing it's midnight and you're still hunting a legendary drop. If you crave chaotic fire and loot, plus that just one more boss feeling, this one's a beast. Bonus, the art style laughs in the face of grim realism and says, let's blow stuff up together. Now we slow it down with something strategic, sweeping, and elegantly intense. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is shaping up to be a tale of arena warfare, kingdoms, and personal stakes. New protagonist, new Colosseum drama, new battles where positioning is everything. Expect grid-based tactics, emotional character arcs, big cinematic beats, and moments where one wrong move means game over. I love how this one seems built not just for the veterans who have memorized weapon weaknesses, but for anyone who loves story and strategy merging neatly. Maybe you're sipping tea while you plan your next move. Maybe the opponent just wiped your team. But either way, there's a satisfaction in turning the tide. For me, this feels like get your thinking hat on and then charge into chaos. Definitely one I'll play for the story and the strategy.
And now warm blood is served in a crude cup.
You think I'd let you deny me my feelings?
Alright, time to blast into the grimdark. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader is a turn-based CRPG where you play as a self-made space noble exploring the stars with your own crew of misfits, zealots, and Xenos allies. You're charting unknown regions, making impossible moral choices, and firing way too many plasma cannons in the process. What I love is how flexible it feels. You can play a pious hero, a profit-driven outlaw, or a power-hungry lunatic. Every decision affects your crew's loyalty and the fate of entire planets. It's classic Warhammer scale meets Mass Effect style storytelling, and somehow between the gothic cathedrals in space and the endless void, it still manages to feel personal. Perfect for when you want your strategy served with drama, explosions, and the occasional heresy.
Where will my journey end?
If you've got a soft spot for beautiful pixel art and emotional storytelling, Octopath Traveler 0 might be your next obsession. Set long before the first two games, this prequel explores the origins of the Sacred Flames and the ancestors of the original heroes. It's that same HD 2D art style, warm lighting, soft edges, and painterly landscapes that make every frame screenshot worthy. But the real hook? The new Cross-Fate system, which lets stories intertwine dynamically based on choices, creating new scenes and dialogue every time you play. The music? Still breathtaking. The writing? Still heartbreakingly good. It's the kind of game where you promise yourself you'll stop after one chapter, but you need to know how that bard's tragic tale ends. Elegant, emotional, and absolutely Nintendo cozy.
Each character has unique ultimate techniques that can help you turn the tide of battle.
Time to suit up. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond brings Samus back into the unknown, and it feels like a full circle moment. Expect atmospheric corridors, alien worlds dripping with mystery, and that trademark solitude that only a Metroid game can pull off. The story teases deeper lore around the Chozo and new psychic abilities that let Samus sense echoes of the past. A haunting twist that adds fresh layers to exploration. Combat's still sleek and tactical, but the real magic lies in its pacing. Those quiet, lonely minutes before an encounter, when the music hums low and you know something's watching. This is the kind of game that rewards curiosity and patience, where every corner hides a secret or upgrade waiting to change how you play. Moody, mesmerizing, and oh so Metroid. Now this one's pure charm in pixel form. Witchbrook is basically magical slice of life simulator meets school adventure, and it's shaping up to be one of the most relaxing games on the list. You play a young witch attending classes, learning spells, growing plants, and making friends, or maybe something more, in a seaside town that feels straight out of a storybook. The art style is warm and detailed. Tiny cottages, potion shops, glowing mushrooms at night. It's wholesome serotonin. What really hooks me is how every relationship and choice subtly changes your daily life. You're not saving the world, you're living in it, one cozy day at a time. If Stardew Valley and Kiki's Delivery Service had a baby, this would be it. Honestly, I'll lose weeks just brewing tea and levitating frogs. Break out the top hat and the tea, it's puzzle time. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam brings everyone's favorite gentleman detective back in style. The story picks up in a steampunk-inspired city full of gears, mystery, and mind-bending riddles that only Layton and Luke could untangle. Expect beautifully animated cutscenes, clever new puzzle mechanics, and that cozy feeling of figuring something out just before the hint coin runs out. What makes this one special is the atmosphere. It's both familiar and fresh, mixing nostalgia with a whole new world of contraptions and conspiracies. I can already see myself curled up with this one, solving puzzles while pretending to be smarter than I actually am. It's thoughtful, charming, and exactly the kind of quiet adventure the Switch library always needs.
とんでもない何かが起ころうとしているのかもしれない。
先生。
Forget lone wolf dungeon crawling, this one's built around tense PPVE hunts. You play as a customizable Bloodsworn, a vampiric-tinged fighter with unique weapons and abilities dropped into gothic maps where monsters and other players are both out to end you. In a shared hub, you tweak your loadout and shape your blood history. Lore-flavored perks that influence role, abilities, even little narrative beats. Matches assign flexible roles. Maybe you're fated to duel a rival, maybe you're rewarded for protecting a companion, so every run feels like a fresh little story. It's moody, methodical, and gloriously messy when squads collide while a towering beast crashes the party. The appeal isn't just winning, it's those emergent moments where you decide whether to third-party a fight or slip into the fog with your prize. If you love social mind games layered over sharp combat, this will sink its teeth in.
And one alone.
Ready for some full-scale chaos? Dynasty Warriors Origins drops you into the Three Kingdoms era with one hero in the center of the storm, fighting against thousands with tactical flair and hack-and-slash heat. The story runs through the Yellow Turban Rebellion to the Battle of Chibi, offering a tighter narrative than you'd expect from the series. You'll swap weapons on the fly, execute massive combos, and watch war unfold around you in massive battles. What hooked me? That moment when you clear a wave of enemies and turn just in time to face 200 more charging at you. It's gritty, it's huge, and it's weirdly gratifying. If you've ever wanted to feel like one warrior against the tide of history, this is your battlefield. Now we shift gears into superhero territory. Marvel Cosmic Invasion serves up a pixel art beat-em-up where you pick a team of 2 Marvel heroes and tag into fights across New York, the Negative Zone, and beyond. The roster hits 15 champs, including Phoenix and Iron Man, and the Cosmic Swap system lets you change characters mid-combo for wild moves. Bring a friend, or 3. It supports local and online co-op with crossplay, so your squad's always ready for cosmic chaos. For me, this one screams couch co-op mayhem, blasting enemies 1 minute, high-fiving the screen the next. If you love stylish pixel visuals and superhero smackdowns, this one's a blast of pure fun. Alright, time to mellow out with something cheerful. Yoshi in the Mysterious Book tosses our favorite green dino into a whimsical storybook full of odd creatures, secret passages, and levels that feel like turning pages in a giant book. Yoshi teams up with Mr. E, the talking book, and hops into chapters filled with flora-fauna pals who help you by blooming plants, digging up roots, or wriggling through puddles. It's platforming lightness with exploration heart, bonus points for the stop-motion-ish visuals, and that warm Nintendo glow. I'm imagining solo couch sessions, soft lighting, and that sweet, simple joy of finding a hidden critter and saying, "Aww." If you need a relaxed, charming adventure to unwind with, this is your ticket.
A page-turning adventure awaits.
Time for a heavy hitter. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined brings one of the series' most beloved adventures into the modern HD 2D style, and it looks stunning. You and your childhood friends accidentally uncover a secret island that kicks off a time-traveling journey to restore forgotten civilizations. Classic turn-based combat gets some fresh life with smoother pacing, new class skills, and faster transitions, so exploration feels like pure flow. It's equal parts nostalgia and brand new, balancing whimsy with a surprisingly deep emotional story. What I love is how each era you visit feels like a self-contained mystery with its own music and mood. It's cozy, it's heartfelt, and it's a love letter to old school JRPG fans. Honestly, it's the kind of game you play for just one more quest, then suddenly realize you've been grinning for 3 hours straight. This one's more nightmare than puzzle platformer. Reanimal is the next horror adventure from the makers of Little Nightmares, where you play as a brother and sister navigating a twisted island full of living horrors and secrets. You'll sneak boats through misty waters, creep through shadow-filled factories, and try to uncover how the world fell apart while staying alive. The focus here is chilling atmosphere, deep dread, unexpected creatures, and a shared camera co-op system designed to ramp up tension. What stands out is how ordinary things go wrong. Flickering lights, industrial halls, echoes of children's laughter, and how you and your partner must rely on each other to survive. Think of it as silent horror meets stealth escape mission. If you're up for something that hides in the dark and creeps under your skin, this is one to watch. And now, from poetic to pure chaos. Human Fall Flat 2 is everything you love about the first one. Physics-based slapstick, awkward parkour, and unexpected teamwork turned up to 11. The new levels are bigger, funnier, and somehow more ridiculous, with puzzles that practically beg for creative failure. You'll still trip over your friends, yeet yourself off cliffs, and accidentally solve problems in the dumbest ways imaginable. But that's the joy. It's messy, social comedy. Whether you're swinging across factory cranes or trying to balance a seesaw with 3 friends screaming directions, every moment's a highlight reel waiting to happen. The updated physics and more responsive grab system just make the chaos smoother. Honestly, this isn't just a sequel. It's an excuse to laugh until your ribs hurt. Perfect game night energy. You thought paintball was messy before. Splatoon Raiders cranks it up with faster movement, team-driven objectives, and some surprisingly intense story beats. This time, you're not just inking turf. You're diving into abandoned zones, scavenging tech, and battling rival crews for control. The aesthetic is pure underground rebellion. Graffiti art, glowing masks, and music that absolutely slaps. New gear customization and traversal tools, like the paint grapple, turn every match into controlled chaos. What really makes it shine is the cooperative raiding mode. Imagine teaming up to storm an enemy's hideout while waves of ink-fueled mayhem explode around you. It's creative, colorful, and chaotic in that perfect Splatoon way. You'll rage when you lose, laugh when you slip, and jump right back in because the vibe is just too fun to quit.
Go on an adventure in the mysterious Spiralite Islands alongside Deep Cut.
Now this one's pure aesthetic. Skate Story is a surreal skateboarding journey through a glassy underworld. Part trick simulator, part emotional odyssey. You play as a fragile figure made of glass, skating through dreamlike landscapes filled with smoke, neon lights, and floating ruins. Every grind, kickflip, and crash looks beautiful, and yeah, when you fall, you literally shatter. The trick system's surprisingly deep, rewarding flow and rhythm over perfection, but it's the feeling of movement that gets you. Meditative, hypnotic, like therapy on a skateboard. The lo-fi beats, minimalist narration, and melancholic tone make it feel more like art than a game. For me, it's the kind of experience you put headphones on for, zone out, and just feel. It's weird, beautiful, and quietly unforgettable. A perfect blend of style and soul. Time to hunt, but this time with heart. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection continues the spin-off's legacy of friendship and adventure rather than pure carnage. You'll hatch and bond with monsties, explore wild new biomes, and uncover a storyline wrapped in mystery and emotion. The reflection theme ties into a world split between light and shadow, meaning some monsties have corrupted mirror forms that test your loyalty and strategy. The turn-based combat returns richer and faster, with team-link abilities that make every fight feel like a cinematic moment. What I adore is how Stories manages to balance cozy creature collecting with sweeping adventure. It's like Pokemon's older, cooler cousin who rides dragons for fun. Expect emotional twists, adorable beasts, and way too many hours spent naming your favorite wyvern.
I can't believe they bring it here.
Ah, the one that broke the internet. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade finally makes its way into portable form, and it's every bit as dazzling as ever. You're back with Cloud, Tifa, and the gang in Midgar, a city of neon towers and corporate chaos, reimagined with cinematic flair. The hybrid combat still hits that sweet spot between strategy and spectacle, and the extra Yuffie episode adds a ton of charm and agility to the mix. What makes this version special isn't just nostalgia. It's how alive everything feels. The banter, the tiny NPC details, even the vending machines tell stories. Every battle feels personal. Every quiet moment hums with history. It's emotional, stylish, and yes, still heartbreakingly beautiful. Get ready to fall in love with that world all over again, and probably cry doing it. Okay, here's one for the retro souls. Mina the Hollower feels like it time-traveled straight from the Game Boy Color era, but upgraded with precision, speed, and gothic flair. You play as Mina, a whip-wielding inventor exploring creepy crypts, haunted lakes, and clockwork catacombs in a world that looks like Castlevania collided with Link's Awakening. The movement is lightning fast. Dig underground to dodge, leap into action, and whip enemies mid-air. It's got that perfect mix of tight gameplay and eerie eerie charm that Yacht Club Games, the Shovel Knight Legends, are known for. What really sells it is the vibe. Spooky but playful, challenging but fair. Every boss feels like a mini dance of danger and timing. This one screams just one more try, and honestly, I'm already planning the all-nighter this game's gonna cause. Don't be fooled by the name. The Florist isn't some cozy flower arranging sim. It's actually shaping up to be one of the most unsettling psychological horror titles on the horizon. Set in a quiet small town where something has clearly gone wrong, you play a florist whose calm daily routine slowly unravels into something far darker. The game blends atmospheric exploration with puzzle solving and subtle narrative twists, using its eerie sound design and environmental details to build tension instead of relying on jump scares. What has fans intrigued is how ordinary places, a shop, an apartment, a greenhouse, become increasingly sinister as the story unfolds. It's all about mood, unease, and that creeping feeling that something isn't right. If you love horror that's more psychological than gory, this one's definitely worth watching. Time to lock, load, and probably explode. Enter the Gungeon 2 is back, and it's somehow even more chaotic than before. The cult favorite bullet hell dungeon crawler returns with slicker shooting, co-op madness, and new weapon absurdity that only the Gungeon could deliver. This sequel expands everything. More bosses, deeper lore, weirder guns, yes, the kind that fires smaller guns, and multi-layered levels that shift mid-run. The devs have teased a more story-driven angle too, with familiar faces from the first game returning for redemption or revenge. It's equal parts ridiculous and rewarding. One of those games where failure feels fun. If you love that mix of reflex, roguelike, and pure chaos energy, this is the one to watch. The Gungeon's calling again, and it's definitely not going easy on us this time. Now here's a surprise entry that has everyone buzzing. 007 First Light looks like Bond reinvented for a new era. Set before the classic missions, this prequel reportedly follows a younger Bond on his first covert operation, blending stealth, cinematic storytelling, and tactical combat. It's got that sleek British espionage vibe, tuxedos, gadgets, and danger always one step away. The tone feels grittier and more grounded, focusing on how Bond became Bond, the legend before the legend. Expect a mix of stealth takedowns, stylish shootouts, and maybe a few nods to classic spy moments. What's exciting is seeing the series experiment with a tighter, character-driven story rather than just action spectacle. Fans of stealth adventures or spy thrillers should keep a close eye on this one. It might just give 007 a whole new edge. Crack that whip, Indy's back. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle looks like a globe-trotting, puzzle-solving, Nazi-punching return to adventure gaming glory. Set between Raiders and The Last Crusade, it drops you into a first-person adventure packed with ruins, relics, and razor-sharp banter. You'll trek from Rome's catacombs to the Himalayas, chasing the mystery of an ancient power known as the Great Circle. And every scene looks drenched in that classic Spielberg energy. Expect hands-on puzzles, cinematic action set pieces, and those perfect, barely made it moments that make Indy who he is. What's exciting is how it blends exploration with storytelling. Not just action, but wit, discovery, and danger in equal measure. Honestly, if you miss that pulpy, old-school sense of adventure, this one's going to feel like strapping on the fedora yourself. And that's it, 30 Nintendo games ready to steal your time and your money. Which one's got you the most hyped? Let me know down below. And hey, if you've ever said just one more game and meant it, hit subscribe. We've got plenty more adventures coming your way.